Hi Dollar Divas, welcome back to my channel. So today is a video I've been promising for a good while. I've had a couple people suggest that I do like a kind of like a makeup brush basics type of a video, kind of like what brushes are used for and all that kind of thing. So here I am finally making this video. And I've got a lot of different brushes that I've just collected over the years. Some are, from the drugstore. I've got a couple high-end ones, and I have a lot from Dollar Tree. So, and because I am a bargain makeup channel, I will be sure to show you what a brush does and then kind of show you what you can use from the Dollar Tree to get like a similar effect. So that is important to me as always. So if you are a returning Dollar Diva, thank you so much for coming on back for another video. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Jessica, and like I said, I am a bargain makeup channel. So what that means is I like to do a lot of the same fun content that other makeup channels like to do. I just like to keep it at a bargain price point. So the closer to $1, the better. And any more, even drugstore makeup is starting to get a little bit crazy. So I like to see how close to $1 I can find makeup and get looks like the look I'm wearing today. Believe it or not, y'all, this is Dollar Tree makeup on my face. The eyeshadow too. I know. I will have the video linked down below in the description box. That way after this you can see how I got this makeup look. I will also have related content down below that you can binge watch, and I do hope you will become part of our Dollar Diva family here on YouTube and join the party with us. And let's just go ahead and get into today's video. So I'm going to start with like foundation application. And there's lots of methods to put on foundation. Back in the day, a lot of us used our fingers to put our foundation on. Now there's all other kinds of techniques. And honestly, like in my opinion, like I'm not a makeup snob. There's no right or wrong way. You do whatever you like the best. The method that I like to use changes. Sometimes I'll be using a sponge. Sometimes I'll use a brush. Sometimes, whatever just changes. I fall out of love with methods, and then I fall back in love with other methods, and then I find something new. And so one method is a brush. Here are two different styles. You have this more flat one here, and then you've got one like this is a really densely packed brush. Funny thing about these is this is not a Dollar Tree brand, but it is a brand name that ended up at Dollar Tree. Just, you know how that happens. And then this is a Dollar Tree brand. This is from Sassy Chic. And I prefer this one over this one, like any day of the week. So a really great foundation brush. I also have one by Real Techniques that came in a kit. This one's pretty good too. So yeah, there's options. I even think, and I might be wrong about this, Dollar Tree might even sell a Wet n Wild foundation brush. I can't really remember. I might be wrong about that. So then another method, so that's like a brush method for putting on your foundation. Another method is, of course, the beauty blender, the makeup sponge. Of course, Dollar Tree has a plethora of these by Sassy Chic. They make so many different kinds, shapes, sizes. This is like a very basic one here. You are supposed to wet these. There are so many people that don't know that you need to wet these. You need to wet them, to make them softer and squishier. They get bigger. But then you need to wet them as well because it prevents a lot of the product from getting sucked up into them. It's the way you do it. I heard it from the beauty blender inventor herself on a morning talk show. You wet it, you wet it, you wet it. I love the ones from Dollar Tree. I personally don't feel a need to buy anything more expensive. You do you, but I like the ones from the Dollar Tree. So kind of going in that same method, like I said, there's little like different sizes. Like this one here came in a little like 3 or 4 pack, and they've got different shapes. They have some that are like flat on one end and shaped a little bit more like an hourglass. And this one here is kind of meant for, doing like under your concealer and all that good stuff. This one here is one I bought from Real Techniques years ago, and it was marketed as like a dry sponge. It's one that you keep dry and you apply your powder. So, and they even have some that are big that are like for your body, like body makeup, giant. I don't have one of those, but then this is what I used for a really long time. You might remember these if you've been with me for a long time. These silicone applicators, and the beauty with these is they're very sanitary. You can wipe them off, disinfect them easier, whereas this you need to throw away after so long, you know what I mean? But this, you just wipe it. It also doesn't absorb product, and this was my preferred method for a really, really long time. Some I had from the drugstore, and then some I had found at Dollar Tree. So then speaking of powder, there's all kinds of ways to put powder on, from a brush. I like to sprinkle, like put some powder on my face. If I want to like bake my face, like under my eyes, and I like to press powder like in between my eyebrows here, I kind of like something a little bit more like, lately this has been kind of my go-to, these little triangular puffs, and it's nice because you get the corner and all that kind of stuff. Like then here's like a little version. These are so cute from Dollar Tree. They're sassy chic, and it's got a little thing, and it's really good for concentrating under your eyes, like small areas. Then of course, you know, these here will come with a lot of like loose powders. They're fine too. Honestly, it's the same thing as this, you know. And of course you get these things here that come in sometimes different shapes and sizes, and they come like sometimes in a bag. And you can wet them and use them for your foundation, or you can use them dry and use them for your powder and stuff like that. I don't do that very much, but they're just some different methods of applying your both pressed powder and loose powder. I use either of these methods with either one. Like if it's something like this, if it's a pressed powder, I'll just dig it in and do it. I'll do it with loose powders as well. So there's a couple different ways to apply your powder. I know you can find these at the Dollar Tree. You can find these at the Dollar Tree. You can find brushes that work well for powder at the Dollar Tree, like these ones here by Sassy Chic would be a good powder brush as well. This one here is something I found at the Dollar Tree, this Wet n Wild brush. You could do powder with that as well, kind of a thing. And like I said, and also too, like there may be like more like a makeup, you know, makeup artist is going to know much more about makeup brushes than I am. I'm just telling you my basic knowledge and what I use things for. So those are some different ways to apply foundation and powder. So bronzer, I like kind of a big fluffy brush for bronzer, like something like this. I think I got this at Five Below, and it's just a nice kind of big brush. I don't like it to be too dense. But I like it to be dense enough because I love bronzer. So I've used this here a lot as a bronzer brush. I've used this as a bronzer brush. I've used this as a bronzer brush. And this here is something you can get at Dollar Tree. I like using these, like I said, in a pinch. I'll use it for powder, I'll use it for blush, and I'll use it for bronzer. So really good brushes that Dollar Tree has been having that can do a couple different things. See, so this one here is a LA Colors large powder brush. So, like I said, currently I'm using it for face powder, but you could use it for bronzer as well. I wouldn't even be opposed to using it for blush, although I do tend to use something smaller for blush. But yeah, you could use that, in my opinion, for either. So then you have like the idea of contour. So this here is another Sassy Chic brush that is at the Dollar Tree. It's labeled on the packaging as a blush brush. I think it's too compact for that purpose, so I like to use it for contour. I will use it for cream and liquid contour. Because it's very similar to the foundation brush. It's very dense, very short. But you could even use it for powder contour, something to really concentrate it and really blend. So I really, really like that. And you could probably even in a pinch use it for foundation as well. I've even got a contour brush like this, something with like a tapered end and like this. I used to use this for the dark, and then I would use this here for the light. You know, is it right? I don't know, but that's what I do. I kind of find what I need to do, and then then I find the tool that I feel can do it. So here's a couple methods for concealer. Of course, you can use this for your concealer, but one of my go-to methods in the last couple years has been a brush. And I've got 3, all in different price points. I have an IT Cosmetics one. I don't have it here with me. It's in work, you know, which was pricey, and it's nice, but I don't like it any better than I like the e.l.f. Flawless concealer brush. This is like $5. This is my second one because I wore my first one out. In a lot of ways, I reach for this even more. And then lately, I've got one of these at home and at work, the Sassy Chic concealer brush. This is really nice, especially if you're on a budget. Between this one for $1.25 and this one by e.l.f. for like $5, you don't need to buy something more expensive. I like these every bit as much as I like my IT one. I mean, seriously, like I would tell you if it was like, well, it was just a little bit better. Now that one might hold up better over time, but as far as what it does, you're just fine with one of these. I really love a brush for my concealer. I also use it for like my eyeshadow primer too. So that's a good way to put on concealer. You even have, and I don't think I have one of these handy. Yes, I do. So I think I actually got this at Dollar Tree, most likely. This is usually labeled as a concealer brush as well, and it's kind of like a small version of the foundation brush. And this is a nice way too. So if you can't really find this one, you can use this one here. This will do the job as well. Back in the day when like Bare Minerals came out and you get the starter kit and it came with like a kabuki brush and a concealer brush. I think I still have a concealer brush somewhere from them. It was for powder, like concealer, their powder concealer. But yeah, this one here is also a concealer brush, just another way you can put concealer on with a brush. Yeah, here it is, the Bare Essentials. This thing is old, y'all. Max Coverage Concealer Brush. See, it's that shape. And this was to take the powder foundation, really pack it on where you need some extra coverage. So then blush. So like powder blush, it kind of depends on what I'm doing, but like something like this is kind of what I'll tend to use often to put my powder blush on. If I'm a little afraid I'm gonna go overboard, I'll use something a little fluffier and a little longer. So here's a rule of thumb, and we'll get into this when we get to the eyeshadow brushes. But when you're dealing with like eyeshadow especially, the more compact and or short a brush is, the more concentrated color is going to go on, and the harder it is going to be to blend. They're really good at depositing color. So then the a little bit less dense and longer bristles tend to diffuse the color more and blend color more. Both have their purpose. You just have to know what it is you're wanting to do and then choose accordingly. Sometimes you use both. Sometimes you might use a more compact brush, then you might diffuse it out. Or vice versa. You might do an overall thing and then you might want to add a little, you know, however it is that you want to do it. So that's a general rule of thumb, and we'll get more into that when we get to the eyeshadow brushes. So another thing you can use to contour, these are new from Sassy Chic at Dollar Tree, and I've got 3 different like varieties of them. These are listed as eyeshadow brushes, and they're anything but. So if you see this at the Dollar Tree, it's going to say on the package eyeshadow brush. It's really not. Really, something like this is really good for adding contour. Like if you want to contour your nose, this kind of brush is going to be perfect for that. This one here is a smaller version, and I use this. It's flat. I mean, you could use it for concealer. But I use it to actually clean up my eyebrows with concealer. So that's what I use that for. And I don't have any with me because I never really cared for them. You'll see those little brushes with the handle, and then they got like the brush that goes out to the side, and they'll come in different sizes. I think the bigger ones, you can do foundation and bronzer and contour. I never really got into those, but you will see those. And I can't tell you a whole lot more about those than that. So if you have a cream or a liquid, like blush or bronzer, I will either use a damp beauty blender and diffuse it, or I will use a stippling brush. But first what you want to do is put both products on the back of your hand, and then blot either the stippling brush, the damp beauty blender. For liquid or cream bronzer, I might use this brush here. You want to blot it on the back of your hand and then go in. That way it doesn't get streaky, and it's more foolproof that way. So like a stippling brush like this right here is great for like cream and liquid products. This one here I found at the Dollar Tree. It's an e.l.f. one, so if you don't see it at the Dollar Tree, I'm sure you can get it at CVS or Ulta or something like that for very affordable. So then a highlighter too. So of course I will use this for like a liquid or a cream highlighter, or my damp beauty blender. But these are a couple of other types of brushes I will use for highlighter. This one here is kind of like my go-to. It's just this little, it's got long bristles. It's not too tightly packed, because with highlighter, it's very easy to go overboard, and it's little, so I can just get the little areas that I want to go in. Also a fan brush. I did find this at the Dollar Tree as well, and but if not, e.l.f. is always an affordable brand for brushes. And yeah, look, a little fan brush right here. So you just go in and you can just go like that and add some highlighter. So I like both of those methods for highlighter. So now we're into like the eye brushes. So eyebrows. So if you're not using like a pencil or something like that, you're going to end up probably using a powder or like a cream product. Either way, you can use a brush just like this. This I actually did buy at the Dollar Tree. It's got a spoolie on one end. A lot of like brow brushes will have a spoolie on the end. If not, you can always buy a spoolie. Sometimes the right eyeliner, like pencil liner, will even have a spoolie. So if you have a pencil liner that has a spoolie on the end, you could use that. But these little really thin slanted brushes, really good at getting in there and getting your powder or cream eyebrow product onto your brows. So that's a really nice brush to have if you use either one of those methods for your brows. Here's another one I have that has like a thin brush, and you could even do it to this one here obviously has like another eyeshadow brush at the end. So this one here is probably intended for use like if you want to line your eyes with shadow. You could use your eyebrow brush, or you could find, I got this at Dollar Tree too, so that's a really good little eyeliner brush. Again, you could use it for brows. So these brushes here, this shape, this style, ideal for eyebrows or lining your eyes with shadow. And again, so many good options available at the Dollar Tree. If all you can afford is Dollar Tree brushes, there's really not you can pretty much find the basics of what you'll need at Dollar Tree, to be honest. I'm going to do another video that's like a Dollar Tree basic makeup brush kit and a deluxe version. I did one years ago, but I want to do an updated one because brushes change. They've gotten some new stuff and all that kind of thing. So I want to do an updated version of like what a basic brush kit from the Dollar Tree could look like with anything that you would basically need, and then one that's a little bit more like ultimate, a little bit fuller of a kit. So now I use a lot of shimmer eyeshadow and I use a lot of liquid shadow. And with both of those, I like to use a brush that, again, this is from the Dollar Tree. It's just a little flat, kind of like the concealer brush, but it's a lot thinner. I guess, you know, you could use it for concealer. I like to dampen mine, and that's what I like to apply my shimmer shadows with. I also like to take a liquid shadow and take the product on this brush and do it as well. So that's what I use this styler brush for. Now, if you want to get like into the inner corner of your eye with like a liquid shadow or something like that, you want to use something a little bit smaller. So here's some examples, again, all of these are from Dollar Tree, of little tapered precision brushes. This one's a little bit bigger, this one's a little bit smaller, and then this one here is the smallest. And they're really good at getting into like the corners and stuff like that, just depending on what size you need. So again, all available at the Dollar Tree. Not super necessary. When I'm in a pinch, I can like usually get into my inner corner with this brush here, but that would definitely be in like the deluxe version, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I use these little precision brushes for. So here are two very, very different eyeshadow brushes. And I'm sure this is where a lot of you get lost if you're not, you know, super, you know, if you don't have a lot of knowledge about makeup and stuff. So basically, see, this one here is like a little bit of it's not super tightly packed and it's long. And then this one here is a lot tighter packed and it's short. This is going to deposit more color than this. Then you have something that's like in between. So this one here, it's kind of in between. It's a little bit more densely packed and it's a little shorter. So sometimes when I'm building an eye makeup look, I'll start with this brush here. I'll put a light shade on and I'll get a good color payoff on my eye. Then you might see me use the same brush and do a slightly darker color up to my crease. Then it starts to get real quick. And when I want to start like concentrating color on the outside, I'll use this shorter, more compact brush. Then to kind of blend it all, I'll use a brush like this. It's just going to help blend the lines, and usually I'll like use this brush clean, or I'll put one of the shades that I want on it and diffuse it. So again, the longer and less compact the bristles, the less color that gets deposited. The shorter, more compact, the more color gets deposited. And there's the extremes, and then there's stuff in the middle. So you just have to use your judgment on how much you want it to blend, how much color you want it to deposit, and all that kind of thing, you know. This one here is an all-over shadow brush. This is from It Cosmetics. So it's really good at just putting your, you know, you want to lay a whole base down on your eye. It's going to go on pretty pigmented because it's pretty densely packed, but it's also fluffy. Something from Dollar Tree that would be really good would be like this Wet n Wild one. That's going to be kind of just a good all-over shadow brush. I think this one here is marketed as a large shadow brush. I'm not really sure, but you've seen it at Dollar Tree. Then you have like a brush like this. It's not really tapered, but it's pretty tightly packed, and it's a little bit short. This is really good when you really want to go in and you can actually smoke out under your eyes with this. You can go and really deposit some color in some really concentrated areas. These are pretty affordable. These are the Moda brand. It's a detailed, yeah, this is the Moda brand. This is a detail brush, so you can really get in and add some detail, you know. So this here came in a 3-piece set with my IT brushes that I got years ago. This is called a smudger right here. It's very dense, it's short, and it's kind of on the thinner side. You can use this so like if you do like if you want to smudge your like lash line, like if you want to do like if you do like a shadow as a liner and then you want to smudge it, this is really good. I'll go in under my eyes a lot with this, you know, and add some like smoke out under my eyes, put some shadow underneath. You could even use like a thinner brush and then use this to smudge. So I use this brush a lot, and probably the Dollar Tree equivalent would be something like this. I don't know what it's called at Dollar Tree, but it is Wet n Wild. And this here would get you a very similar effect, just on a budget, you know. So I hope this helped. Of course, if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section and I'll answer them the best I can. Like I said, I'm not like a super professional. Sometimes I do grab a brush and use it for what I think would be good for, but those are some basics. And like I said, I do want to have like, I do want to do like a basic Dollar Tree makeup brush kit and then like a ultimate one. But pretty much you could do your makeup with stuff just from the Dollar Tree. Like I said, I have got ones that are in the drugstore price point, a couple in the high end, and then I have a comparable brush from Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree has got you covered with brushes and all that kind of thing. But so I do hope this helps make it a little bit less scary and a little less intimidating as far as what to use and when and for what. If you enjoyed this video, show me you did by hitting the like button. Definitely go down and binge watch some related content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.